everyone. I'm Vi Lyles, Mayor of the great city of Charlotte. Thank you for joining us today for this exciting announcement. You know, we're living in what could best be described as interesting times. We've all had to pivot and adapt to a new way of life. Today, though, I am encouraged because while many things are changing, some things are constant. Of course, I'm talking about the wonderful work of our economic development team. Even during a pandemic, they are giving us great news about fantastic companies that are choosing to relocate to Charlotte or even expand here in our fine city. It is my pleasure this morning to introduce the latest addition to the Queen City business community. We are thrilled to welcome global electric vehicle company Arrival to its new North American headquarters in Charlotte. Arrival is a London-based company that specializes in manufacturing of electric buses and vans. The new headquarters will be in South End and will create 150, yes, I said 150 new jobs. In all, Arrival is making a $3 million investment into their new Charlotte offices. Now, I want to point out, while they manufacture transportation vehicles, Arrival is really a tech company because part of its work is transforming the way people and packages move on our streets. Their focus is efficiency and environmental responsibility, which very much aligns with Charlotte's priority to move towards our climate change goals, our clean energy goals. As a city, we value the reduction of carbon emissions, and all of this is spelled out in our Strategic Energy Action Plan and our commitment to the Bloomberg Climate Challenge, as well as the Paris Climate Accord. And the ink has just dried on a memorandum of understanding between the city and Arrival to collaborate on our strategies to achieve our energy action plan. I look forward to a strong, long-lasting partnership between Charlotte and Arrival, a partnership that will focus on real-life, mutual, and sustainable initiatives for our city, our region. And for more on this progressive and innovative company, you are in a progressive and innovative country, but today we're going to talk about a company. I want to introduce CEO Mike Ableson. Mike, let me be the first of many to welcome you and your team to Charlotte.
Well, Mayor Lyles, I want to thank you very much for that very kind introduction. And it's a very exciting moment for me to be here, albeit remotely, to announce the establishment of Arrival's new North American headquarters in Charlotte. Almost 6 years ago, Arrival was founded with a mission to completely reimagine the design and manufacture of electric commercial vehicles in order to accelerate their adoption globally. And over the past several years, we've been developing technologies to enable that mission. Even with all the challenges that 2020 has brought to all of us, it's been an exciting year for Arrival. Early in the year, we announced partnerships with Hyundai, Kia, and UPS. We announced a few weeks ago our very first U.S. microfactory in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And of course, very recently, we announced our plans to publicly list the company on the NASDAQ through a merger with CIIG Merger Corporation. Even with as exciting as 2020 has been, though, I feel like announcing our North American headquarters is the real capstone to what has been a very exciting year. As a company, we look forward to working with many cities around the world to lower emissions and improve the quality of life. However, as the mayor mentioned, Arrival has already signed an MOU with the city, which sets out a framework to work with Charlotte to achieve the goals outlined in its Strategic Energy Action Plan. And so with that, Charlotte becomes the first city in North America that we've entered into an MOU to pursue these ambitious goals with. We see this partnership with the city as an opportunity to develop ways private and public entities can work together to build integrated transportation ecosystems with data shared freely to achieve zero emission goals. We know that cities and communities benefit from products and infrastructure built for them, contextualized to support their specific needs in their specific regions. Different cities have different geographies, climate, socioeconomic structures, and more. But Arrival has pursued a strategy where with our microfactories, we deploy and distribute manufacturing of our products in many communities around the world. It's the localized microfactories that reduce the need for transporting materials, including our sustainable composite materials that can be reused, repaired, and remanufactured. We work with the City of Charlotte to hit its 2030 goals of sustainability and zero emissions. We think it's a path that countless other cities across the US and globally will be interested in and hopefully will follow. We see this partnership as a roadmap for others to utilize as we work to meet the needs of urban transportation, all while decarbonizing global transport sector. It is truly a pleasure to join you all and announce our new North American headquarters in Charlotte. We very much look forward to what comes next. Thank you. I'd like to turn it over to Sarah Hazel now, who leads the city's Office of Sustainability. Sarah, off to you.
Thanks. Good morning. I'm Sarah Hazel, and yes, I manage the city's Office of Sustainability. To follow up on this very exciting announcement this morning, we have a few special guests who are going to join me in a discussion about what this announcement really means to our city. So first, I actually have a question for Mayor Lyles. Mayor, you recently spoke about the impacts of transportation, jobs, and equity as it relates to Charlotte Moves and the implementation of a transformational mobility network. What role will innovative companies like Arrival play in helping Charlotte achieve our goals in those areas?
One of the most important objectives any community can have, any city can have, especially one like Charlotte, the fifth fastest growing in the country, is to have the ability to combine the goals of making sure that people can have mobility, as well as that we can have clean air and clean water. So when we talk about what we're doing now, it's transformational mobility network. And that means all the way from the ability for people to be able to walk on adequate sidewalks, ride their bikes for mobility purposes, whether it's for work or exercise or whatever. But it also means that we have to complete our infrastructure. And that's what Charlotte Moves is about, building the infrastructure for our mass transit, as well as dealing with traffic congestion and all of the amenities that mobility brings. That means that we continue to think about how do we connect our residents to where they work, where they live, so that they can have the quality of life that's important. Charlotte can be a leader in this. And when we have companies like Arrival come in and they join with us in this major effort and goal, it not only creates a vision for our community, but it actually contributes to our workforce, our economy, and gives us a stellar example of what the future can be. So we're moving forward, and the partnership with Arrival is only going to strengthen that action. So thanks for asking that question. And again, it's all about our city being a place that's livable for everyone, creating opportunities for everyone that lives here.
Thanks, Mayor. This next question I have is for Mike. Mike, global zero emission mobility is quite an inspiring goal that you have. Can you tell us a little bit more about Arrival's plans to transform transportation through technology and specialized manufacturing? And specifically, how do you see locating your headquarters here in Charlotte as helping to realize this very bold vision that you have?
So Sarah, you're right. It's an inspiring goal. And it's a goal that inspires us every day at the company. As I mentioned before, we started work several years ago to develop technologies that would enable the broader and faster adoption of electric commercial vehicles. Some of these include proprietary in-house components that we've developed. It includes a composite material technology that we use in assembling our vehicles. We also then have developed this idea of local microfactories. And to just expand on that for a moment, a traditional automotive factory is a very large factory that has an enormous footprint, and it takes many years to stand up and get operating. Our microfactory approach envisions distributed manufacturing with smaller factories like the one in Rock Hill that we can get to start production relatively quickly in 6 months to a year. And with this microfactory approach, we also pay attention to the environmental impact we have on the surrounding community where we're located. And this smaller footprint, more agile approach really allows us to look at the environmental benefits, not only of our vehicles, but of our manufacturing approach. All of these factors come together to aid and abet our pursuit of zero-emission commercial vehicles. And to your question about why or how does Charlotte aid us in achieving this, obviously we were looking for a city that we could work with in partnership to achieve these sorts of goals. Because of course, in any public-private partnership, you've got to have willing partners on both sides. And in Charlotte, we have found a very willing city, a very forward-thinking city, one that we look forward to working in the community and being an integral part of the community as we all work to the zero-emission goals that the city has set.
Wonderful, thank you. We're very excited. My next question is for Fran West here from the city. As you know, Fran, our city has previously signed an MOU with Duke Energy, and now with Arrival around achieving our sustainability strategy. And so as the city continues to leverage the MOU working with Duke Energy around bus electrification, can you talk to us a little bit about the importance of these types of public-private partnerships and corporate agreements when it comes to accomplishing citywide goals?
Of course. Thanks, Sarah, for the question. You know, I have to say that when our team goes through these business recruitment pursuits, we look for partners, and I think that Arrival really speaks to that. As Mike said, public-private partnerships are the blueprint for innovation and transformation, and in order to achieve our shared vision, we really rely on these partnerships. Moreover, we recognize that we can't build this city by ourselves. And we don't want to. You know, we rely on the private sector and bring them to the table for their new ideas, for their speed, and hopefully we can get it done a lot cheaper together. But part of our strategy in bringing Arrival to Charlotte is to truly create, co-create those solutions. Just like the partnership we entered into with Duke Energy, reducing our carbon footprint and electrifying our transportation goals, our transportation system, have been goals discussed at the city for years. Having a company like Arrival locate their North American headquarters in South End, to bring their top-tier talent to our city and hire our best and brightest, and build their buses right here in our region, is going to bring leading experts from around the world to help us address the growing needs of our city. We are thrilled to be launching into solving for our shared vision with both Arrival and Duke Energy. We really couldn't ask for better private partnerships. So thanks, Sarah.
And now I'd like to round out our conversation and turn to Janet Labar with the Alliance. Janet, Arrival recently announced a manufacturing micro facility in York County. So can you talk a little bit about how the regional impact of these two projects will really benefit the region with both the headquarters and manufacturing home in our region for such an innovative transportation company to be here?
Yes, thanks, Sarah. First, on behalf of the Charlotte Regional Business Alliance, I'd like to join in the welcoming of Arrival to the Charlotte region. Mike, we know you have a choice on where to grow and invest, and we are so thrilled that you have made that decision to be here. So thank you. And congratulations, Mayor, to you and your team at the City of Charlotte for the addition of Arrival's headquarters in our community. Arrival's arrival here is truly special. The location, as you just mentioned, of their first U.S. microfactory in Rock Hill in York County, and now, of course, their North American headquarters here in Charlotte, illustrate the diverse offerings that our region has for manufacturing, for technology, and headquarter companies that are looking to grow and expand. So Arrival's multi-pronged approach confirms that we are a region on the move, and the investments that our community have made over time, whether that's in education and workforce, our place, our built environment, all of those investments are working. And so for this announcement in particular, we want to thank our economic development partners like the City of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, Charlotte Center City Partners, Rock Hill and York County, and both states of North and South Carolina, and the business community who have continued to make these wise decisions over time that have enabled our region to be so vibrant. And additionally, Arrival is bringing foreign direct investment and electric vehicle and mobility expertise, which really is going to increase our global visibility in a high growth industry that could open up even more opportunities for us to see future investment. And finally, this is a growing and dynamic region. We know that investing in smart and inclusive infrastructure, both in the city and across our region, will be critical to how we not only compete for business and talent, but also improve economic mobility to retain the talent we're growing. We know that our mayor has strong vision for that. Arrival's know-how and their innovative mobility solutions experience are going to be incredibly valuable to how we shape a more sustainable and equitable growth for the Charlotte region. Again, thank you so much, Mike and Arrival, for making the decision to be here. We are really, really excited that you're here.
Thanks so much, Janet. And thank you, everybody, for your very thoughtful answers. I'm now going to hand it back over to Fran West, Assistant Economic Development Director for Business Recruitment.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks, Janet, Mike, Mayor. We really appreciate your participation, as well as you, Sarah. I do want to give a quick shout out just to our teams who got the work done. So thanks to, my team here, Emily, Alyssa, and Janae, and Tracy, who couldn't be with us, but also to the Arrival team. We've had some really great work together over the past couple of months on this project, and it's so nice to be able to share this today, and to the Alliance, because we wouldn't be here without them today in generating this great lead for our region. So thank you. Our city is committed to partnering with Arrival as we work together on sustainability goals. We are truly truly excited to welcome them to Charlotte today. With this will conclude this announcement. We are going to open this up for some media questions. Prior to doing that, I did want to share two items. First, Arrival did not receive any local incentives to locate their headquarters in Charlotte. And secondly, we are very excited about this MOU, and a copy of it will be available following this announcement upon request. So, Corey, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Fran. Our first question will go to Ashley Fahey. Ashley, and to all of our reporters, please identify the person to whom you're asking your question, and we'll start with Ashley Fahey. Ashley, go ahead with your question. Okay, we lost Ashley. We're next going to go to Katie Peralta.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Excellent.
We can, Katie.
Thank you so much. This question is for Mr. Abelson. I wanted to get sort of a big picture view on why specifically your team zeroed in on South End as the location for its new North American headquarters here in Charlotte.
We were looking to put the headquarters somewhere close to the light rail line as as one of the criteria. We try and model the future that we want to have happen in cities. And we think increasing use of public transportation is going to be one of the very important tools that cities can use to reduce carbon emissions. Also, of course, we were looking for a very vibrant community. A lot of the startups and technology companies in South End we see as similar to Arrival, and it seemed a great neighborhood for us to bring our employees into. So for all those reasons, we chose South End.
Our next question will go to Danielle Shimtab from the Charlotte Observer.
This question is for Mike as well. Can you tell us where the headquarters is going to be located in South End?
Yes, I can. It's the 335 building, which is on Fremont Avenue. I can look up the specific address if you want me to. It's 330 South Tremont.
No, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to Katie Peralta. Katie?
Sorry about that. This question is also for Arrival. Beyond the 150 jobs, does the company plan to expand its presence in Charlotte at any point in its life cycle here once you guys move in?
So as a young company, I fully expect that we're going to be expanding and adding employees and growing the business over time. At exactly what rate and how soon, I can't say, but we certainly think the company has a very bright future. And with the headquarters here in Charlotte, I think there will very likely be future opportunities to add further jobs in the Charlotte area.
And Danielle Shimtab, I see your hand still up. Do you have another question?
Yeah, I was wondering either for the mayor or for Sarah, if you could answer sort of what the MOU outlines in terms of the partnership.
So I'm going to ask Sarah to address that question, but I want to say that I'm looking at Mike's camera. If he brings the dog and the kids, we're going to be good.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor.
Okay.
And I can speak to the second part of that question. Our Strategic Energy Action Plan has some key work areas. And so when working with Arrival, we were so excited to really look at that plan and look at our shared goals and figure out how could we leverage this great opportunity to work together around pilot project opportunities, workforce development opportunities, obviously intimately linked around fleet electrification. And so this MOU really outlines a willingness to collaborate, to think creatively, to use and share data to advance those key elements of our Strategic Energy Action Plan, and to really think of ourselves as partners as we move forward together here in Charlotte. And I believe that this MOU will be made public very shortly following this announcement.
That is correct. We will send that out after this announcement. And our next question, welcome back to the line from the Charlotte Business Journal, Ashley Fahey.
Hi, so sorry about that. Internet problems as everyone's probably experienced during the pandemic. I'm so sorry if you already answered this question, Michael, but could you just explain why you chose Charlotte and whether any other cities or states were in contention for this project?
Absolutely, Ashley. So when we started looking for a place to locate our headquarters, there were a few criteria that we looked at. One, because the company is headquartered in London, we wanted to be in the Eastern time zone to minimize the time zone difference to our corporate headquarters. Secondly, and very importantly for a young company and a young technology company especially, is the ability to attract talent. So we were very interested in finding a dynamic and growing city that we felt like we could recruit people from around the country and potentially around the world to come and join us at our headquarters. Finally, I would say being a global company, the airport connections were very important to us as we looked at, our operations inside the company. And those factors and a few others, when we looked at them across a whole range of cities, Charlotte came out on top. And a few months ago, even in the midst of the pandemic, I made my first in-person visit to Charlotte to make sure that it was everything that the data said it should be, and I was really pleased with what I saw in the city. And so at that point, we made our final decision and started moving forward with implementing all the things that we've announced today.
Our next question will go to Alan Adler with FreightWaves.
Hi, good morning. This is from Mike Allen Adler. You may or may not remember me from GM, but I wanted to ask you how different the Arrival experience is from what you were doing at GM. I know you were looking at ways to do things like this, certainly the cruise project and things like that. How different is an Arrival and microfactories from sort of the massive of GM?
So the Arrival approach to designing, engineering, and manufacturing vehicles is different, as far as I know, from any other vehicle manufacturer in the world. And we think it gives us some very unique approaches to accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles by lowering costs and improving the experience of both the drivers and the passengers of our vehicles. If you look at the pictures of our bus, for instance, you'll see it looks like no other bus you've ever seen before. And I would tell you, before I joined Arrival, I'm not sure I ever called a bus really cool, but I think the one that we've got and that we're gonna manufacture in Rock Hill is a very cool bus.
We'll now go to Danielle Shimtop from the Charlotte Observer.
This probably could be for multiple people, but what is the average salary for the positions?
We've got, since we haven't completely filled out our all of our positions or even designated exactly what they are, we haven't calculated a specific average salary, but these will be office positions. So there will be engineering roles, certainly various staffs required to support our North American operations like HR, financial, some procurement or sourcing jobs. So there'll be a wide variety of white collar jobs in the headquarters.
Back to Ashley Fahey from the Charlotte Business Journal.
Hi, sorry, and I know you said there were no local incentives offered. Does that also include the state not offering anything? And also wanted to ask if there's any workforce development programs or anything that Arrival plans to implement.
State Arrival did not accept incentives from the state, the county, the city to locate here in Charlotte. We did have extensive discussions with them around their workforce, who they're hiring, how to make connections with our local educational partners at Central Piedmont, at UNC Charlotte, at Johnson C. Smith, and how we can be a partner with them as they start to map out who's going to be working at this office and how we can connect them with our local talent pool and organizations to make sure that they're successful in our city.
I'd like to also add that, you know, we serve this region, and we are by 2 states. And so with the manufacturing plant, I look at this, a lot of people commute into Charlotte, but we also want to create the opportunity for people that live in Charlotte or Mecklenburg County to work where the jobs are. And that's what the connection is for us. So when I think about the workforce and what we're trying to do, if we can use Central Piedmont and York Tech, if we can use UNC Charlotte's engineering area, and as well look at other opportunities that we can build a stronger workforce for the region, we are in good shape. And so I think that Arrival does that, and I very much appreciate the idea that we're going to have a cool bus as well as a great workforce.
Thank you, Mayor. And our final question of the morning will go to Katie Peralta from the Charlotte Agenda.
Hey guys, thank you so much again. My question was actually about the types of jobs and the wages, so I will bounce this to somebody else if there was someone else in line.
There was no one else in line, and so with that, we will wrap up this morning's event. We appreciate all of our guests for joining us, along with our reporters who joined us this morning to ask questions, and members of the public who tuned in to watch. We hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.